Right, good day all. So we're moving along to Surah 97, Surah al-Qadr, right? And we're talking about this. And this is the meaning of this is a portion decree, right? It's a decree from Allah, right? Or precise measurement, proportion, amount, capacity, extent, or degree, right? So we're talking about an exact measurement of something, and this something that is referred to is what is referred to in some cultures as karma, right? As you so socially, it is consequence basically, right? Destiny, your destiny is a form of consequence. It's consequence basically. So we're talking about the discussion between free will and destiny, right? Destiny is when Allah takes control over a situation, right? Allah takes control over a situation, right? So you are a free agent in the world when you're born here. You live your life, right? You make your choices, right? You could choose to go this road, this road, this road, right? Whatever road, right? And then after a while, right, Allah takes control over the situation and say, hey, well, you have done certain things, good or bad, right, in the world, and then for that good or bad, you have to receive a particular consequences, and that consequence for a period of time is your destiny, right, your destiny, right? So, indeed, the Quran has been sent down during the night of the decree, right? The night of decree is something that is annual, right? It is an annual thing, right? So you are free to act in the world for that period of time, for the year, whatnot. And then when the night of decree come, which is, right, the Quran has been revealed. Now the Quran is a book of judgment, a book of consequence, right? So some of us don't like the word judgment, right? The word judgment, but regardless if we like the word judgment or not, the consequence is still there, right? Consequence is there, we could like it or not, right? Judgment is there, you could like it or not, right? Call by any name. Karma, judgment, consequence, right? It's the same concept, same reality, right? So this annual thing, when Allah decides, hey, well, for the year you've done X, Y, Z, right? You've done X amount of deeds, and Allah alone know this. I cannot know the intimate details of the deeds you've done, right? I can know that, you can know that about me. I cannot know that as you, as human beings. So Allah is the only one, right, who has a complete knowledge of every single and exact proportion, exact measure, exact weight, right, of the deeds you've done throughout that year. And then that time comes when you have to receive the consequences, good or bad, that you put forth into the world, right? And that is that time period is the night of decree, right? So what can make you know what is the night of decree? The night of decree is better than 1,000 months, the book said, right? So what it is trying to say is that, hey, you do good deeds, you put forward good deeds, for the next coming year, you're going to reap good consequences. And it's simple as that, right? There's nothing more, nothing less to understand about that, right? So let me just make it clear, right? For those who struggle with understanding what is coming from God, what is good or bad, right? God will never appoint you. Say, you are appointed to work in a pornography industry. You are appointed to work in some, to be a prostitute, right? These things are choices that you make, right? Choices that you make. You could make another choice regardless if you have to end up starving, right? That could be your choice, right? You don't have to do that work, right? You could choose to start. Now, this is going to sound really, really harsh, right? This is going to sound really harsh, but you could choose another option, right? And when you make that choice of another option, the universe or the creator of the universe, Allah, will arrange certain things to put into place, to make sure, this doesn't happen to you, right? You don't starve actually, right? But the point is for you to make the choice, right? You are presented with the choices. Hey, I could go down this road, right? Or I could go down this road, right? And it's up to you to decide. So Allah will never say, hey, you are chosen to do this work, or you are chosen. And this is what the powers that be that feed off of these energies, right? Feed off of these energies, such as the pornography industry, dark, torture, and torment, right? Forces that feed off of these things do not want you to have this knowledge, because they want you to make these choices that are detrimental to your soul, right? That are detrimental to your soul. So Allah will never say, hey, you are chosen, or God chose you to do X, Y, Z, right? That's never the case. Never, never, never the case, right? These things are the choices that we make in life, and to the choice after that, when that night of degree come into play, will say, hey, this is the consequence to where you choose, right? The consequence to what you choose, right? So that is how that works. You are never chosen. Allah will never choose you to work in that sort of industry, right? Or dark entertainment or whatever. Like you have the choice to say, hey, no, I don't want to do this, right? So this is what people tie up a lot of people in the world heads with, and that's why we are untangling, right? We are untangling from these karmic situations, right? So I'm teaching people to do that so you don't get further caught up in a web and go through a cycle over and over and over and over, right? So helping people to detangle from those situations, right? So you don't get caught up in a repeated, because these forces want to keep you in a cycle, right? A cycle of doing these same things over and over and over again, right? So it is to withdraw yourself from these processes, from these things and these thoughts that, hey, God chose me to act. God will never choose you to act in an evil industry, right? God will never choose you to put yourself out there, have it sex and have the world view you on a camera, right? Put yourself on a website, having sex with 1, 2, 3, 4 men, right? Having men having sex with 1, 2, 3, 4 women, and that's out there on a camera. And think logically about this thing. Do you really think God chose you to do that? No, He didn't, right? Good. So, the angels and spirits, Angel Gabriel descended therein, right? By the permission of Allah for every matter, right? So Allah assisted by angels, right? Allah is assisted by angels to get this point across to people, right? To get this point across. So peace it is until the emergence of dawn, right? And I hope by speaking this, people who need to hear it, because I don't have much views on my YouTube, right? But I hope that by speaking this, it reaches people, right? To understand this, what is called free will and destiny, and fighting off these forces that are telling you, right? Because there's a lot of manipulation, top level manipulation in the world, right? And forces are trying to convince you that God chose you to do something that is anti-God, right? Forces are trying to tell you that God chose you to do something anti-God, right? And it is not the case. It is not the case, right? So it is to reach people, to let them know these things so we can untangle ourselves from the karma that comes, because when you do those things, you are the one who have to go through the karma or the consequence for this, and I hope people understand this, right? They are not the one who have to go through the karma or the consequence for this, right? You are the one who chose it, right? You are the one who chose that particular thing, right, to do. So this is to help people to we're not taking on the karma for evil forces in the universe, right? We are not taking on the karma for people who try to influence us into these sort of things, right? So helping people at the underneath level, right, to understand, hey, let people on top there, those forces, the evil forces, because they are good and evil on top, right? Let them pay for their own sins, right? Because you are influenced by them, right? And you by virtue of your actions, you have to pay for your sins, right? So detangling yourself from those types of situations, right? So that brings an end, and I hope people understand this, right? And people could comment, because people have been commenting on my comments are open on my channel, but people have been commenting prior. Now this is a topic I would like people to comment and share their views on, because it's a topic that needs to be discussed more and more and more and more, so that people understand this thing about who had to pay for this and who had to pay for that, right, in terms of sins, right? So have a good day, everybody.